to stay. Heart is with me for adoption. But giving up is not a spiritual option. And so I seek the one who knows what's best, the one who helped me pass.
Good evening and welcome to the Voices of Change. My name is Jan and I'll be your host this evening.
And I'm Elliot.
And I'm Shamel.
Who is she?
Oh my God.
You
Shamel.
know, matter of fact,
Shimmy.
today, did you hear anyone say shimmy today?
That's what it's supposed to be. Shimmy.
Did you hear it today? Did you hear it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, nobody
I
called
said
you
it when you were
Shamel.
speaking earlier.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shimmy.
I probably would have laughed. That's why I'm glad I didn't hear
And
it.
you
Yeah.
should have laughed. So how was your week, Shimmy?
My week was good. My week
Oh,
was
Shimmy's
good.
right.
Wonderful. And how was your week, Elliot?
Busy, but good.
I know, busy.
Ugh. I'm still recuperating.
I'm so tired. I was late for church.
And I think a lot of people work because of this hour thingy.
It's our time.
Yeah, I got up. Well, I got in late. Then I got up late. Oh, man. Big shout out to our partners. Our partners, GV Entertainment, Oda Enterprises, and Great Tax Service. Tax season is finally winding down. You wouldn't know it by people calling me, though.
Of course.
But that's a blessing. That's a blessing. I'm not complaining about
Make that money.
that. Normally, I start my show off with scripture. Today, I'm going to start it off with a quote. And it's going to be a quote on truth because some of the things we're going to talk about today, it's a matter of having discernment and knowing the truth. And sometimes the truth kind of hides. Something looks obvious and you think it's true and it's really not. And
True.
then when it's uncovered, then you say, I thought that. So hopefully about all these different issues that we're going to be talking about today. And Elliot, I can't wait to the segment that you're leading. Elliot is going to lead a segment on when to leave.
Yeah.
On when to leave
your
a
relationship. Yeah.
Which is a lot of people have been saying, "Ooh, I want to see that." So
All right.
let's get through everything else. And this quote goes like this: I am ignorant of absolute truth, but I am humble before my ignorance, and therein lies my honor and my reward. And we normally would take a break right now, but I think we're going to go straight through because I want to really get to Elliot's part. And before Elliot's part, I got to talk about who's my favorite entertainer.
Lord.
You don't know?
Well, it's your favorite entertainer.
You're supposed to know.
I'm supposed to know everything, huh?
Yeah.
Shimmy, who's your favorite entertainer?
No, Michael Jackson.
The one and only.
Oh, now that.
The one and only.
Wait, now you mean Shimmy knew?
I said I didn't know. I just didn't want to be on. I got enough to talk about tonight.
Oh, so you're gearing up for your. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I'm trying to share the love, share the wealth. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
we're going to start off with the news. You can use this first story. I remember us reporting it back in December. The story of a woman who was fatally stabbed in December after reportedly giving money to a panhandler. A case that drew national attention and spread fear throughout Baltimore was actually a ruse by her husband and stepdaughter, who have been charged in her death. Keith Smith, 52, and his daughter Valerie, 28, were arrested by Texas State Police near the U.S.-Mexico border while trying to flee the country earlier Sunday. Warrants charging them with first-degree murder in the death of Keith Smith's wife, Jacqueline Smith, were issued. The information and evidence points to the fact that it was not a panhandler. People take advantage of Baltimore because of their reputation. We want to make sure the truth comes out and justice is done. Jacqueline Smith, an electrical engineer at Aberdeen Proving Ground, was stabbed to death about 12:30 a.m. on December 1st at North Valley and East Chase Streets, according to police. Now, I know we all remember that story
Yeah.
Yes.
because I thought it was such a shame. They said she gave money to a panhandler. Then somebody knocked on her window and somebody was on the other side and she got stabbed to death. It was kind of weird anyway, wasn't it?
Weird. It's weird.
But why do you think the husband and the stepdaughter did that?
Money.
That's weird.
Money.
Insurance policy.
I'm surprised he pulled his daughter in with it.
I'm not.
Let nothing surprise you. Okay.
Let nothing surprise
Anybody
you.
is possible of anything.
And that's another thing about truth, because when I first heard this story, I said, I just took it as being true. And I thought the panhandler, that's a shame. Good news. Tamron Hall, 48 years old and pregnant. There's a little controversy with that. I'm sure you all heard about the little controversy, or did you?
No, I haven't.
No, but clue us in.
Well, you probably did hear about. A little controversy was that Tamron Hall is, I don't know if she's married, but she's pregnant by a Caucasian. And there was a lot of conversation about that. And there was also conversation about her age. I don't know why they talk so much about her age.
Because she's 48 and she's pregnant.
And
I'm not I'm not making a deal out of it, but
A lot of people did though.
yeah, because they feel like that's too old to be having a child. The older you are, the more risk females have, the higher risk of things going wrong with either you or the pregnancy. The older you have a child. So, and then anything can happen. You go through all kinds of changes and all kinds of issues
I
and
really
things.
think, man, I hope this doesn't sound like a song, but I really think that it's more to the fact that they're less concerned about her health and more concerned, more kind of hating, because she
More
was
than
able
likely.
to achieve what she wanted to achieve, and she's at almost the top of her game,
Yeah.
and she's still able to find a relationship, get a man, and have a baby. As far as risk, yeah, they put the health risk for women at 35. That's when you're high risk. But in all actuality, women that are 40 actually take care of themselves better. They eat better. And you see problems with young mothers as well as
True.
older mothers. I would like to see the data on that. And I'm sure there may be someone in the medical field who can give me the data or the statistics on that as far as risk factors statistically from older women. But I applaud Tamron.
Yeah.
I don't say anything about her choices. Her choices are her choices. I'm going to leave that right there. But I applaud her for being pregnant at 48. A 22-year-old woman was killed when a bullet flew through the window of an Inglewood home and struck her in the head just 3 weeks before her 23rd birthday.
Wow.
Police said Jasmine Reese arrived with her boyfriend at a house party on the 7200 block of South May Street around 1:20 a.m. Sunday. Just minutes later, a bullet fired from outside the house broke through the window and hit her in the temple. Police said Reese was not the intended target.
They're never the intended target. Like,
Yeah, bullets
Bullets don't have
a face.
there we go.
they don't have a name. They just,
But they hit her in the temple. I mean, she had no hope of all places.
Yeah. That's
Can't
what
even
I'm
go
saying.
in the house safe.
No,
Going to a party.
Not at 1:20 a.m.
And she was
Mm.
so young, almost 23.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Mm.
8 Americans were among the 157 people killed when an Ethiopian Airlines flight crashed shortly after takeoff from the capital of Addis Ababa on Sunday. The 4-month-old Boeing 737A MAX plane crashed 6 minutes after departing on its way to Nairobi, Kenya, plowing into the ground at 8:44 a.m. local time, 31 miles south of Addis Ababa. The cause of the crash was not immediately known. The pilot sent out a distress call and was given a clearance to return the airline. The plane had routine maintenance on February 4th and had just flown 1,200 hours. The pilot had 9 years of seniority with the airline. Overall, the airplane's safety record had been on par with other major world airlines. It's always a shame when you hear about a plane going down. Always,
Yeah,
always.
always.
Yeah.
Makes you think about
Flying.
Yeah. And it's what
Well, particularly when you have a fear of it anyway,
Yeah.
and then you get up there and you're like, okay, my life's always in God's hands. You know
Yeah,
that, but
but
it's like you have the pilot, you just sit
you
there
just never know,
and you never know. And statistically, it's more likely in a car. I mean,
Yeah,
but you don't
yeah.
think about that. You don't have the same fear.
because you're in control of the car, so you think.
Unless you got some people driving, then you may have more
Right.
fear.
Somebody else.
You feel like you can get out of a
Right.
car.
Or you can kind of,
You
I
know,
don't know, you can
you can
kind of
take
think
control.
you have, right.
Right.
And in a
Airplane, you just
plane,
there like,
you're just sitting there. Ooh, doo, doo, doo.
you know.
But what is that? Turbulence? Oh, okay. No.
Right.
We
Oh,
hope.
oh.
Yeah, but that's always tragic, and I guess all of them, everybody in the plane. Former middleweight boxer Frida Foreman has died at the age of 42, according to multiple reports. One of the former heavyweight champion George Foreman's 10 children, Frida, went 5-1 with 3 knockouts during her brief career in the ring in the early 2000s. Foreman's body was discovered by a family member at her home near Houston, Texas, which also notes that police are awaiting the coroner's report.
So young.
42. I didn't know she was a boxer. The boys box and the girls box.
Well, when your dad is George Foreman, you're gonna do something.
I think Muhammad Ali's daughter boxed for a minute, didn't she?
Layla.
Yeah.
What a pretty self. Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes your favorite person.
Yeah. You know what?
Still jamming to the sound.
Okay, so I was yesterday. I was somewhere. I was out in Rosemont. So someone was talking about, man, they're really trashing him, and they said, "Oh, can I ask you something?" I go, "Yeah." They said, "You're not one of his fans or anything, are you?" While as she was really trashing him, like, I hope he whatever. I hope he eat blank and die and all this kind of
Oh,
stuff.
my
Oh my
goodness.
And I'm like,
You asked that before you start talking about the person, at least.
And I'm like, I like his music. I don't necessarily think his music should be muted, even though everyone else does. But if he's guilty, he needs to do his time. But, as far as her saying everything she was saying, she thought maybe I was one of these people that gave some money. Because I guess when he got in jail the second time, people start.
I want to know
money.
Now. Here I go, and this is going to tie into the story. I want to know where these people getting all this money to bail this man out of jail, and why ain't nobody trying to pay this man child support? Because that's why he got put in there.
They did.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yes. Let's read about this.
Oh, please, come on, please.
R&B singer R. Kelly was scheduled to be released on Saturday from the Chicago jail, where he's been held since Wednesday after someone paid the $161,000 he owed in back child support.
Whoever you are, come find me. I got some student loans you need to pay.
Oh, now, from what I heard, when he got put in that second time, they were contributions coming through county to get him out. So I don't know if it was one or multiple. I don't know. Anyway,
that's funny.
The money was posted.
I'm gonna say something in a minute. Go ahead.
The money was posted sometime Saturday morning. It was not immediately known who posted the money. Kelly was ordered into custody on Wednesday by a judge after he said that he did not have the entire. He had some of the money.
Yeah,
He did not have the entire $161,000 in child support he owed. That trip to jail was Kelly's second in a matter of weeks last month after he was charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse pertaining to 4 women, including 3 who were minors when the alleged abuse occurred. He was taken to the same jail. Now, an update on Kelly. Now, this is a weird, and I'm not a Kelly. I mean, I like his music, but if he's a whatever, this is weird. Tell me what you think about this update. A man who said he was cleaning out an old videotape collection.
Oh God!
Found what he thought was a recording of R&B singer R. Kelly in concert, but instead turned out to show a man who appeared to be Kelly sexually abusing girls. He and his attorney said Sunday. Dennis, who's the guy who found this recording, an assistant at a nursing home, said he was cleaning out a box of old VHS tapes in his Pennsylvania home recently when he found the footage on a tape that was labeled with Kelly's name. Now, he said he's never met R. Kelly and doesn't know how the tape came to be in his possession. He said that because the tape also had a sports game on it, he believes it may have come from a friend. To my shock and surprise, R. Kelly appeared to be on the tape, but not in concert, Dennis said. Instead, he was sexually abusing underage African-American girls. And I was disgusted and horrified when I saw that. Now, is that a strange story? It was strange to me.
On.
You got VHS tapes and you just popping them in the VCR?
Wait, how you gonna look at it? If I found one, I don't have anything to play it on. Do you?
Yeah, exactly.
So clearly he has a VCR at the over. You got a VCR.
No, you did say a VCR.
That's what they call it. You got go give me the remote to the VCR, baby. They got a VCR. Okay. Stashed up somewhere, or you went and found one or something.
Who has that?
Apparently Dennis does.
Wait. And then he found it.
You found it.
He found it, and then he had a means to play it, and he said he thought it was a Kelly concert, and oh my gosh, he's abusing these black girls.
So you got too much detailed
no,
information.
I think someone gave it to her anonymously, and they made up that story. That's what I think.
Clearly.
I'm sorry.
Come on. Or either you've been at the thing, you don't want to tell nobody you got it, so now you're gonna be like, oh, I found this tape and I found it in your home. Whatever.
Now, if you were cleaning out your home and found an old tape, what would you do? Throw it away, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe that's just like home
if it said
video.
R. Kelly and now.
I mean, if I found it, I would want to see what's on it.
But would you have a VCR?
VCR.
I don't have one, and I still got some VHS tapes from in the 90s from concerts and stuff, and I can't play them because I no longer have a VCR.
Oh my God. We have one at work.
Oh my God!
Only the schools.
The
schools have a DVD and VCR
player combination.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Y'all used to have the whole combination in y'all house back in the day with your record player, your CD player, your tape deck, all that one big console together.
Yes,
oh my!
With the glass window.
Yeah. Now I know
make sure you clean it when you clean it up.
Okay, come on. I know somebody in my LPs. Why are there fingerprints on this window? Who been in here playing my record?
That's right, the fingerprint. Oh, you know good. Okay, now here's another story that, when you talk about truth, I have what I think is my truth and they have their truth. And Now they multiplying it by 16. Empire actor Jesse Smollett has been indicted by a grand jury in Chicago on 16 felony counts after allegedly
Like he allegedly found his tape.
Allegedly lying to police about being the victim of a racist and homophobic hate crime. Smollett was charged last month with felony disorderly conduct for the alleged false report he made with Chicago police on January 29th. Now the grand jury has indicted him of 16 felony counts. Jeez,
do we know specifically what those felonies are? So
they haven't said that.
No, they said well, they could have said 25 counts. They could have said.
I want to know how you arrive at such a number.
16.
To me, like, oh boy. Okay, I can see the post office thing because you supposedly sent this letter. You've lied to allegedly sent this letter. Mm-hmm. You allegedly lied to.
I guess they can break it up into 16 different things. I don't know what they are.
Say it again.
See, they multiply.
Okay, I'm saying it doesn't sound like it ought to be 16.
At 16, I'm like, what day?
That's crazy.
Speaking of black women, we have two of them that we're going to talk about: Lori Lightfoot and Toni Preckwinkle squared off in the first televised forum of the final two candidates for Chicago mayor Thursday night. The two came face to face amid an already acrimonious campaign headed into the April 2nd runoff election, and the sparks kept flying from the moment the forum began. I remember seeing it when one person was saying something, then Toni said, "Well, I was born poor. I was raised poor too." Like, what? Did you see? You should. Oh my God!
No, I have to
I'm
go.
just looking at feeling. I have nothing to say.
Former federal prosecutor who has previously served as president of the Chicago Police Board and the chair of the Police Accountability Task Force, among various other roles in city government. She was most recently a partner at Mayor Brown. Preckwinkle is the current Cook County Board President, a position she has held since 2010 and chair of the Cook County. So she's a current Cook County Board President and the chairman of the Cook County Democratic Party since April. Before that, she was elected to 5 terms as alderman of the 4th Ward on the city's south side. The gloves are off. Whatever happened to nice, clean, just...
Ain't never been none.
Let's stick by the...
Ain't never been none. Excuse my rhetoric.
You're right.
Never been none. Politics has always been...
And it's going to get ugly.
Dirty. It's been mudslinging.
It's going to get ugly.
Below the belt. And I would hope that...
I like how Preckwinkle said when they said, can you think of one thing nice to say about Lightfoot? She goes, well, I think it's good that she come to grips with her sexuality and she's proud of it. And I'm like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. And look what she got in her pocket after saying that. The pastors.
Well, that's because she's coming to all their churches. So let's just call that thing a thing.
Well, okay. Lori, I don't know if you've seen her on the West Side churches.
I have not seen her.
I haven't either.
Okay, so can we dig into that real quick?
We can dig. We got to April 2nd to dig.
Well, so now first thing, I talked to a friend of mine and they're like, an associate of theirs has a cousin that's gay. That I think they live in Atlanta or something. I forget, don't quote me, that might not be the right place, but anyway, they were like, I think they have a female mayor.
Okay,
I want to say, but how she got in primarily because the LGBT community was pushing her. Okay, and it's like let's just be honest that here in Chicago, that's a large community, and you cannot disclose them, you cannot exclude them, because that's going to be a big part of the people that are come out and vote for you. They're made up of... They're
very organized.
Yeah.
They're very extremely
organized. And they're
made
up, that part of them are black and white and Hispanic and all that. So it bleeds into all these other demographics that you have to pay attention to. So you can't insult them. You can't...
And who's insulted them? Queen? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not saying what I did. I'm just saying you can't insult them. Okay. You can't make snap remarks like, "Oh, I'm just happy that she can't agree with her sexuality."
I thought that was just...
You can't say things like that and expect people to support you. Like, that was shady. You can't do things like that. Yes. You still got to be respectful.
Now, of all her accomplishments, that's
right. So now you about to be slammed because these people are going to come for you now.
Well, what are the numbers showing? The numbers showing Lori Lightfoot's way in.
Well, of course, especially now. So, I mean, and then Preckwinkle has her own things against her anyway that people are looking at her sideways about. That hey, it's just what it is. So either way, we're going to end up with a female mayor. My hope is that black female mayor. Thank you. And my last 2 things on that. Number 1, I hope that both of these ladies remain classy or try to
Thank
remain
you.
classy
Thank
and
you.
respectful and not be so degrading to one another as this goes on. Secondly, this only confirms from that one show I think we had in maybe October, November, where Cynthia was here.
Okay.
And y'all said, yeah, I think 2019 is going to be the year of the woman.
She sure did. She said it was a year of the woman.
And
sure
so we're
did.
seeing a lot of that rise up
Yeah.
this year. So Cynthia, I know you're watching. You know, hey, you spoke it, so we're
She
walking
called
into
it.
those things. You did.
Why don't
you
she
did.
call all three of us hitting it rich? There's a lotto coming out with
Hello,
$400 million.
right?
But you got to play in order to be a part. I don't play. But now somebody can come and give me some of that money. I don't mind. I will not turn it away. Please, if you win the lottery and you know me, feel free to bless your brother. I don't mind.
And I'll figure out a way so it'll be a charitable contribution. Let's set you up with a 501c3.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Now, I thought you'd appreciate this next. It's just a line, and it's for all my brothers who like to read the Bible. Donald Trump was visiting a church in Alabama while touring the tornado-torn area. Alabama's it was hit horribly.
Yeah.
And when he was there, when he went to the church, you know what he signed with his name?
Bibles.
Who does that?
So there are.
Oh my God.
I'm going to get into it. So there are quite a few Bibles that nobody will ever touch again because Donald Trump signed them.
Oh my God. He signed.
Your name ain't Obama. Your name ain't go. You can't be signing Bibles. It's one of your fingers didn't burn up.
Obama couldn't sign my Bible. Oh,
really?
No.
No, I don't think
No.
a Bible should be signed.
I mean, I'm not saying it should be, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you know, I feel like
It shouldn't be him
it shouldn't be him.
signing the Bible.
They're like, let me stop. I was going to get dirty. Let me not. I'm going to be good.
So I'm going to talk about this next topic that's very close to my heart.
Oh, Father.
Okay, here we go. And then I got to hurry up because I know you. Oh, yeah, I got time. Okay. This next one. Now, I know when we were here last week, we talked about watching Leaving Neverland. Okay.
Yeah.
Neverland. And I saw it.
And did I not tell you not to watch
did
it?
I call you up that night?
Yeah,
and I'm
you
like,
showed me
oh
like,
my God.
I told you. I wasn't going to disturb
when this
me.
little boy, okay, he said it happened when he was 7 years old. Now, number one, can you remember if anyone's active, they probably can't remember in detail the last time that they did something and exactly what they did.
Yes,
this little boy
7 years
memory,
old.
he's 41 years old. He remembered vividly back when he was 7. I mean, specific things that were so raw. And he talked about being 7 years old and how Michael Jackson put his 17-year-old member in his 7-year-old mouth. And he talked about other things that were just so, who would remember that at 7 and they're 41? I mean, they were so explicit, even on the other end.
I don't even remember what grade I was in at 7 years old.
I can't. Okay. What was my teacher's name? Oh, I probably can remember that. But you don't remember those things. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Now, this is I'm going to kind of talk about it first, and then I'm going to read some excerpts that I thought was very good from an article from Forbes. Forbes is reputable. Forbes is not TMZ. Forbes is not Inquirer. It's reputable. And I'm going to kind of break down the timeline. And I'm not saying this in support of Michael Jackson because you're going to believe whatever you want to believe.
Very true.
People believe that he was doing things that weren't quite right 20, 30 years ago. You're going to believe what you want to believe.
Right.
I want to give you some actual facts and you can make your own decision. There's been no end to public outcry ever since HBO's Leaving Neverland premiered at Sundance Film Festival. Now, everybody knows Sundance Film Festival. Anybody can do a film at Sundance if it gets accepted.
Yeah.
The painful 2-part HBO documentary, which details the alleged sexual abuse that 2 men endured from Jackson, has resulted in a variety of responses. Many have condemned Jackson's actions and taken steps to disassociate with the king of pop, but still others are choosing to not believe the singer's accusers and denouncing the film. The details unearthed in Leaving Neverland have resulted in a permanent tainting of the powerful singer's legacy. Radio stations have begun pulling Jackson's music from their sets, and the one-time earning power of the Jackson estate is now in question. Here's some of the fallout. Michael Jackson music's sales and streaming declines. Album sales dropped 8,000 units. The Simpsons from a 1991 episode, they removed the episode. There was an episode back 20.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was his voice.
It was the
Yeah,
happy
he's just
birthday
voiced.
Lisa
Yeah,
thing.
it was his
Yeah,
voice.
he's his
Yeah,
voice.
it was Lisa's
They
birthday. I
removed
love
that.
that.
They removed it on an allegation of what two men said. Corey Feldman has changed his mind. One of Jackson's longtime defenders, former child star Corey Feldman, said that after watching the film, he remembered something and he could
Oh,
no
really?
longer defend him.
Oh.
Radio stations are pulling Michael Jackson's music, but V103 isn't. None of the ones in our market isn't, because I'm hearing them even more now.
Well, of course, you know.
Yes, I
well,
hear him in the morning. I hear.
You're gonna hear him, and you're gonna hear R. Kelly more and more.
Yeah,
I mean,
I haven't been hearing R. Kelly so much, but I have.
Oh
been hearing
no,
him.
106.3 was playing a song he had with Jay-Z. Not guilty. You know
Who
that
did that?
song? It's a V1 106.3
Wait, Michael
was playing
Jackson?
it. No,
No,
R. Kelly and Jay-Z had a song, but it was called like Not Guilty or
Okay.
something, right? And I'm like, okay, they're gonna play it. Then they mixed it, and once R. Kelly's part came on, they mixed it out and went to another song.
Oh,
They didn't play him
oh.
singing. Yes, yeah. I was like, oh, that's a good song for Not Guilty. Okay.
And then they phased it out.
They faded to a new song.
Well, V103 has been playing Michael Jackson. V103, I've been hearing it. They have been playing Michael Jackson and the other stations here in our market. When Michael Jackson died in 2009, Wade Robson, the former choreographer whose allegations of abuse are at the center of the new documentary Leaving Netherland, he wrote a tribute to his friend. In this tribute, he said, these are his words, Michael Jackson changed the world, and more personally, my life forever. He is the reason I dance, the reason I make music, and one of the main reasons I believe in the pure goodness of humankind. He has been a close friend of mine for 20 years. His music, his movement, his personal words of inspiration and encouragement, and his unconditional love will live inside me forever. I will miss him immeasurably, but I know that he is now at peace and enchanting the heavens with a melody and a moonwalk. At that time, he was 27 years old. He wasn't a kid. He was 27. 4 years earlier, he testified at Jackson's 2005 trial. He was still an adult then, that nothing sexual ever happened between them. Prior to the trial, Robson hadn't seen Jackson for years and was under no obligation to be a witness for his defense. He faced a withering cross-exam, understanding the penalty of perjury for lying under oath. But Robson adamantly, confidently, incredibly asserted that nothing sexually happened. So what changed between then and now? In 2011, Robson approached John Branca, co-executor of Michael Jackson's estate, about directing the new Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil production, One. Robson admitted he wanted the job badly, but the estate ultimately chose someone else for the position. In 2012, Robson had a nervous breakdown, triggered, he said, by an obsessive quest for success. His career, in his own words, began to crumble. The same year, with Robson's career, finances, and marriage in peril, he began shopping a book that claimed he was sexually abused by Michael Jackson. No publisher would pick it up. In 2013, Robson filed a $1.5 billion lawsuit, creditors claim, along with James Safechuck, who also spent time with Jackson in the late 80s. Safechuck claimed he realized he may have been abused after Robson filed his lawsuit. That lawsuit was dismissed by a probate court in 2017. In 2019, the Sundance Film Festival premiered a documentary based entirely on Robson's and Safechuck's allegations. While the documentary is obviously emotionally disturbing, given the content, it presents no evidence or witnesses. The film director, Dan Reed, acknowledged not wanting to interview other key figures because it might complicate or compromise the story he wanted to tell.
I'm done.
This Forbes article was so good. They even talked about how they try to get in touch with dozens of people who spent time with him, like some of these people I don't know, Bella Farkas, Ryan White. I remember Ryan White. He was a guy who had AIDS in Indiana. Ryan White, Brett Barnes, Frank Cascio, Macaulay Culkin, Sean Lemon, Emmanuel Lewis, Alfonso Ribeiro, and Corey Feldman. It also included nieces and nephews and his own 3 children. Then they went on to say how the FBI, this has been the most scrutinized case of all. They have went to his house several times unannounced, checked his house out to try to find something there. The FBI submitted a 300-page document of their findings, which was nothing. And now we're here. Then it says, as an eccentric, wealthy African-American man, Michael Jackson has always been a target for litigation. During the 80s and 90s, dozens of women falsely claimed he was the father of their children. He faced multiple lawsuits falsely claiming he plagiarized various songs. As recently as 2010, a woman named Billie Jean, filed a $600 million paternity suit against Jackson's estate. And it goes on and on and on. He finally ends it saying, I want to make clear that I am deeply sympathetic to victims of sexual abuse. I also believe in the principle of due process, particularly given American history, for people of color. This article was intended to offer some context, some truth regarding the allegations against Michael Jackson. However, since I was not there, I ultimately cannot speak for Mr. Robson and James Safechuck's experiences. It is my sincere hope for all involved that the truth will prevail and all who have been hurt will find healing. So, with that said, you make your own decision. Now we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come to relationships. Elliot's going to talk to us about when to leave, when to push on, when to say, I've had enough. We'll be right back.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, this talk is over. Somewhere it went wrong. Talk about my baby, the one I've been in love with for so long. So what I dream about, the one I just can't do without, no. The one I run to, ain't no way she been true. And you may believe that I'm in denial, but a broken heart just ain't my style. I'd just rather say you were mistaken, and that my baby's starting for the taking. And you may believe that I'm just a fool, but breaking down just ain't cool. And it's just what I'm gonna do. If what you're telling me is true, so not another word, please. Cause the less I know, the more I'm gonna feel it is. It's the way I really wanna be, need to be, gotta be. Just please bear with me, cause I don't think my mind can take all of this tragedy. I need a little time, and you may believe that I'm in denial, but a broken heart just ain't my style. See, I'd rather think that you're mistaken, and that my baby's heart ain't for the taking. And you may believe that I'm just a fool, breaking down just ain't cool now.
For those tuning in, I want you to share it. You are listening to the Voice of Change only on Intellectual Radio. And this next segment is going to be led by Voices of Change own Elliot Bell, the pastor, the singer,
the what?
the evangelist, the minister, the teacher, the educator, the student, the relationships guru.
Oh,
Dr. Love.
Just the dude in the middle of two beautiful women. That's all I am.
Come on now. You could we receive that. Anyway, but we're gonna ask you questions. You lead this and
I get to answer questions.
Yes, we love it. Okay.
My disclaimer, I am not an expert, so don't let the people set you up like that. don't believe what they say. I'm just in the room. I just work here. So we're dealing with 11 signs you need to leave your relationship. That is how powerful being infatuated or falling in love can be. It's so powerful that you literally fall head over heels into an obsession with the other person. And in most cases, the idea of what the other person should or could be. Potential. When it becomes when it comes to dysfunctional relationships, people usually hold on because they are deeply invested, whether it's be finances, dependence, emotions, or even that so much time has passed that they feel there's no way out. People will try to make the best of the situation they are in, endure hardships if they aren't too extreme, or even try to convince themselves of reasons not to leave their current relationship. I will not say what you wrote.
What did I say? Leave there. Did I say something bad? It's Lent. Did I say something bad?
Yeah.
She said his land.
Relation.
I'm trying to be better.
Try harder.
Okay.
People who think people who think this way are always living in the future or in the past rather than in the reality that exists now.
So people who don't want to leave.
People who don't want to leave, they are you're living in this futuristic place, or they're living in the past.
That makes sense. Okay.
Because you don't want to necessarily deal with the present, because deep down you really know where you are. You see what you see, but you don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to admit to yourself that, hey, this is crappy, this is bad.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
maybe it'll get better, or or just maybe it'll get better, or it's been better before, so maybe it'll get better again.
Maybe it'll do it again.
Okay.
And so they have hope.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. Yeah. So they have hope that one day things will get better or go back to how things were, and that all the pain will go away one day. Maybe it will, but rarely is that the case. They become obsessed with hope and see things how they could be rather than how they really are. This is an extremely flawed way of thinking and will bring nothing but long-term pain and suffering for both people involved. So what are some of the signs that it's time to leave your relationship? I'll try to get through all 11 of them. Physical abuse is the first thing. Come on, if they beat you,
it's time to go.
It's time to go. There's just no,
So if they laying hands on you,
they laying hands and they ain't holding hands. They
cut
not
them
praying.
up and let them go.
It's time, and it's hard. I've heard stories how hard it is to leave the person that physically abused you, even though you know they're hurting you, they're abusing you. Somewhere inside you still love them, and so it's like, oh, if I just love them, if I just be nicer, I did something to cause that. Abuse is abuse,
or they hit me because they love me so much. Right. You hear, yeah.
And I mean, we people joke about that thing, but it's a real thing, and there are real people, men and women. We often look at women, but there are also men that are in physical abusive relationships, and I love her.
I can see that.
Yeah, and a lot of that could be a personal, mental thing, and we don't want to leave because I love the person. But if they're physically laying their hands on you,
what's going to stop them from physically going further and really hurting or killing you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no need for you to stay. I won't dig in to it, but there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only time you should ever hit your partners is if they turn into a flesh-eating zombie or they're trying to eat you. Okay, we don't have none of them. Other than that, it's unacceptable, extremely unhealthy. If violence is present in your relationship from either person, yes, women, like I said, even you, just because you're hitting a man doesn't make it right. It is time to go. Yes. Okay, we often fail on the side of the women, but sometimes the women again are the aggressors there.
So that includes cutting too.
Yes, if they cut you, if they hit you, they go and get a gun and shoot you upside your head with a frying pan. Brothers, leave. Women, if these men are punching you in the face or in the side, you getting Tina Turner every day because you won't eat your cake and all this other stuff.
You won't eat your cake.
Roll out. I mean, come on.
What is it? Anime,
eat the cake. I don't want the cake. All that, yeah, that kind of thing. Number 2, addiction. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or something else, when your partner has become addicted to a point that it becomes a problem and it is affecting your well-being or may have betrayed your trust, the relationship is doomed. Let me dig into that. When trust has been betrayed, you gotta go, because if you're the person, if they've betrayed your trust, you won't, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to trust them again.
So addiction is a wide realm of things. Could it be a food addiction?
It could be a food if it's affecting your relationship in that way. Yes. So we talk about food, drugs, gambling, alcohol, pornography,
Oh,
all of that
pornography,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Anything. Just
But do you think people can change? Like people who may have had some kind of a problem, an addiction,
I
a drug
believe
addiction, and they
I believe change is
Okay.
possible
Hmm.
if you really want it. That's the
if
thing.
you want it, you can't.
The person has
I
to
can't want
want
it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe anybody can change and you can come off of your addiction. Anything is possible, but you have to want it. It has to be something that you want.
Hmm.
If they're willing to change, or if they're not willing to change, or they cannot change, you don't have to feel sorry for them. Because often we stay because we feel sorry. Oh well, if I leave, it'll get worse. That can't be your problem. You are in a relationship to be someone's partner, not to be their therapist.
Hmm.
We often
Not
take
they therapist
on,
or they mother. Keep going. Come on.
we often they're counselor, even though we kind of play those roles a little bit.
Yes.
And some of that kind of bleeds into being a partner. That can't be your total role.
Yes.
I agree.
All together.
We're in a relationship. We're in a partnership to help each other to be a help to one another. The Bible talks about, since you're gonna put all this out here, the Bible talks about if two lie together, they're warm. But woe unto the person that doesn't have anybody to lie with them. They're going to be cold by themselves. We were made to really need each other and to partner with one another. A threefold cord is not easily broken. When you're together, we're better together. We're made to be a part of each other's lives and to need people. But there are limits to what we can and cannot do and what we should and should not do. We try to be everything to the person, and we really can't be because we're limited people. I'm in this relationship to be your partner, not to be your therapist. I know a couple that recently had a big issue, and it was because she didn't tell her boyfriend what was going on in her family life because it was keeping her from them getting together a lot, and he was really upset. And so they had a conversation. They're like, well, I don't want to bring you into my family drama, because my friend is like, oh, I should tell you, maybe you can fix it. And she's like, I don't need him to fix it because there's nothing he can do. Understand that your partner cannot fix the things that are happening in your life. That don't mean you should not tell them what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't keep things from them. All they can do is be a support to you.
Exactly.
And those are the things that we have to look at. So you're in this relationship to be a partner, to help them, to hold them up. And if you have some advice to give it, but you can't be their therapist, you can't be their counselor, not like that. I can bounce out ideas off of my partner, but I can, share my dreams with my partner, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, everything happens with me. So again, you're there to be the partner, not to be the counselor, not to be the therapist. If things don't change, where the door is. Roll out. Number 3, deception. This is really big.
Oh, deception crosses many lines.
Ooh, so many lines.
Oh my God.
And the lines are very
Deception.
thin. They're very thin. They're so very thin. Although our lovely media may have you believe lying is normal for men and women, it is not normal for a healthy relationship. The most important thing that needs to be in place in order to have a real, deep, and meaningful relationship with someone is trust. Again, when trust is broken, it's jacked up. If you can't tell someone the truth and are constantly finding ways to avoid being in trouble or avoid confrontation, then you should reconsider what you are doing. You should reconsider your relationship and or the person that you're in relationship with. If you cannot confront them or you cannot be confronted, if you cannot be honest and truthful or they cannot be honest and truthful, you are not going to have a fruitful, meaningful, real relationship. I told somebody in your first year of relationships, you're building foundation. It's foundational things. You're learning each other. You're learning yourself too, because they're bringing out parts of you that you didn't know that were even there. And that's the time where you really have to be honest and really have to be truthful about where you are, what you see, what you want, what you like, what you don't like. If you don't build those foundational things, it's like the Bible talks about building a house on the rock and on the sand. Honesty is the rock, lies is the sand. When the waves of life come on the thing you call life, and it brushes across your life, and you built your life, your relationship on lies and mistrust and half truths and all those things. When real things come, it's gonna wash away your house. Your relationship is gonna be crap. It's gonna go.
What an analogy! Did you hear that? What was the sand?
The sand, but the rock is the truth.
Okay.
If you're honest, that's the foundation of your relationship. If you're honest, when things come, your house will stand because it's built on a rock. And I told somebody recently, you have to tell your significant other what's going on, because if you're out here doing stuff that looks mysterious or looks dishonest, and you don't let your significant other know, oh, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and other people gonna come to them and say, well, we saw so-and-so doing this and so-and-so doing that. They don't have anything to stand on. They have no rock to stand on with you because you just went out and did your thing, and it makes it look like you're lying. You may not be lying. Communication at its core of the relationship, communication is very key.
But you probably are.
You may be. But we don't know it. Even if you cover your stuff, just cover your stuff.
So you tell them how to be deceptive?
No, I'm not saying
you're saying cover your stuff. Okay, go ahead.
But I mean, cover yourself if you know you have a propensity not to do things or not to communicate. You need to work on your communication skills. You need to let your person know, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Because people are watching.
I think some people just lie just to lie. I understand some half truths with the deception thing, but when you just lie just to lie, it's like I didn't even ask you for that lie.
Right. So don't be a deceiver. Don't be a liar, because again, you are building your relationship on a very sandy place, and when real stuff comes, this thing gonna fall apart. You're gonna look stupid.
Okay.
If you lying now, it's gonna come out later. Let me move on because we got a few more to do. All right, number 4. This is a big one. Cheating.
Oh, Lord. We can do a whole show on that one.
Lord, why people cheat other people. Unless you have an agreement to be in an open relationship. An open relationship, people, just in case people do not know, is you and your significant other have agreed we're a couple, but we can also see other people. We can do things with each other and with other people.
How common is that?
Very common, so you're finding out.
Really?
Very common.
So they'll say, me and you are a couple, but we can kick it with other people?
Yeah.
And I don't like to share, so that's not gonna happen.
Look, I feel you, but it's very common, and
really,
it's very common because, and I feel like some of that is a cop out because it's like I'd rather have you than not have you at all, and either I can't give you everything you want, so you can go out and do X, Y, and Z. It's almost like. It's not exactly like it, but it comes to mind. You keep bringing out the pastoral stuff, so I got to give you all the Bible stories.
I see you doing that. You're doing. Thank you for me. Fault. Thank you. I need it. Thank you.
You had in the Bible there was I want to say it was Abraham. No, one Abraham and Sarah, but it was another couple, and it's not coming to my math. I just lost it. The husband and wife. The wife couldn't give the husband a child. She said, "Go into my handmaid."
Oh yeah, sure did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they had, I think, 3 or 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
She had to parade around like I got these kids, you can't have none, all this other kind of food stuff. That's almost like a biblical open relationship. So
that is
compared to now, you have people that are swingers that are in open relationships. They're married. I have my wife, but she also has a dude on the side, and I know about him. At least I know. And I don't knock nobody. If that's what you like, that's what you like. That's great. That's wonderful. That ain't my thing.
And that's not cheating. Okay, so that's not
right.
Cheating.
That's an agreement. So that is not cheating. If you've agreed to it, you all have sat down and said, "Hey, sweetheart, I love you. I like you. You my boo. You my babe. You this, you that. But I still want to have this on the side. Me and you gonna still have our thing, but we're gonna have this. And you agree to that. You wholeheartedly in your right mind and your heart of hearts agree to that. That's not cheating. So unless you have an agreement to have an open relationship, cheating is unacceptable. It is possible to forgive someone for cheating and move on. Usually,
why you put your hand on me?
Oh, because you're right here. I put my hand on her next time. Now, if the situation is extremely complex and both parties are contributed to it. Forgiveness may only work only if both parties are willing to make the necessary changes and put the past behind them. It won't be easy, but it is possible. So if you are found cheating, forgiveness is always key. You can forgive and move on. You can forgive and come back together, and it's possible. But both parties have to want to change. In the sense of the cheater, you have to want to stop cheating and dig into what's making you go cheat, because there may be something inside of your relationship that's making you go outside and do stuff. And then to the one that's being cheated on, you have to be willing to receive the fact that, oh, maybe I may have done something or may have not done something that caused this person to cheat. Or
So
they could
you're
just
going
very
to blame
well,
the cheating. So the cheating is
it's a two-way thing. It's both parties. Either something's not being done on the inside, or that person just really is just not in a committed state.
okay.
So it could be anything. I'm just saying both parties have to want to change. If you really want to forgive and really keep your relationship, forgive them, make your changes, do what you got to do as on the inside and do what you got to do on the outside and make your life work. If you feel like you can never trust them again, don't stay with them. If they cheated, move on with your life.
Or if they cheat all the time, they're serial cheaters.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. Move on
I'm
with your
just
life.
saying, because they're not going to cheat. Typically, they're not going to cheat one time. If they cheat one time, and if the woman go, okay, then I'm going to accept. We can start over again. Then they're going to get empowered and just do it more.
Quite possibly.
I mean, that happens
all
a
the
lot.
time. So you got to dig into those things. Number 5, something that we don't really talk about a lot, because we do a lot of talking about cheating and deception, but nobody really looks at part of the reason why cheating happens is because of number 5, you've grown apart.
That does happen. That does happen.
It's very possible
You're
that
right.
you can grow
You're in
apart.
two different,
This happens often. Over time, people
That's true.
just naturally
change.
begin to drift. Right.
That's true.
That's
true.
Their interests change, their goals change, and people begin to want to make a different path in life. If you are starting to feel this way towards your relationship, you must tell your partner before you go out and cheat. Go tell your partner, hey, I feel like we're growing apart. I'm having different feelings. I'm having different things. Tell them. People's feelings will always get hurt, and it's their problem, not yours. If they can't accept the truth, you must be real with yourself and in the relationship. Otherwise, you will build resentment toward your partner because you don't have it in yourself to do the right thing. Okay. So, if you feel like you're changing and things are happening, deal with it. All right. I'm going to try to hit at least 3 of these before we get done. Disrespect. It can come in many forms. But in this case, we're referring to someone mistreating their partner through constant verbal abuse, mind games, degradation. If you're in a relationship where your partner is the type to put you down and talk about you and make a fool of you for the sake of laughter, then it's time to reconsider your relationship. Those little things that we laugh at and we think it's funny, they're not funny, because there's always a little truth in joking with each other.
That's right. You're right.
I'll look at anybody sideways if you can sit there and talk about your partner in front of me. And,
that's a problem.
That's a problem, because you may be laughing, but they're not laughing solely with you. Their feelings are hurt. Be careful. Watch those things. We're not trying to make you paranoid, but we're trying to make you watchful so you can see what's going on. Bad communication or no communication. If you're in a relationship that's very crappy with crappy communication, it will naturally fail on its own over time. Constant communications will turn small issues into constant miscommunications will turn small issues into giant arguments that could have been avoided and eventually will one day lead to a breakup. If you can't talk to your partner like they are your best friend, then you are really just in a sexual relationship based on the convenience rather than the deep rapport. So watch that. If you can't talk to them like they're your best friend, y'all just having sex.
Well,
I mean, that's
Did
real.
she say, well?
Ain't no way around that. I'm sorry. Communication will keep your thing together. You got to talk. If you can talk to your friends, you may be able to talk to your partner. End of story. That it's a real thing.
He's passionate about that one. Okay, communication.
It's unbalanced. So if you find yourself in a relationship that is totally unbalanced in the favor of your partner, then you are not in a relationship. You are in a dictatorship. They're telling you what to do and you have no say so. You're in a dictatorship. I'm gonna keep moving. Ego based. I'm with you because it boosts my ego. It makes me look good. You become a trophy wife or a trophy husband. You look good, so I'm gonna date you because it's gonna make me look good. That's not healthy. That's not good for you. There's no love there. You just with each other for the sake of looking good. It's only physical. Y'all are just having sex, and y'all just doing whatever. There's no deep love for each other. My last one. I keep going. Okay. Well, I'm gonna dig into this last one. Number 11.
Preach, Elliot.
It's a soap opera.
Makiba.
Full of drama. If your relationship is a soap opera, then you're not an actor, then it's time for you to get out. End of the story. If your relationship is a soap opera and you are not an actor, it's time for you to roll. That means you're full of drama.
If your relationship
is a soap opera, you live in Days of Our Lives every time.
That's my favorite show. Why you know?
You young and restless. And they send you to General Hospital every week.
You know what?
Oh my
and
goodness.
You ain't no bit of actor, ain't getting no kind of money for none of the acting you doing. Because the truth be told, if your relationship is a soap opera, you're becoming an actor because you playing the part because you really want to leave, but you don't want to go. So I'm gonna play this role until it fall apart. Look here, I'm gonna say I said what I said. No, but if you hate drama and you aren't walking out the door, the first sign that you are dating an unstable drama queen or king.
Okay.
Then you deserve every annoying fight you ever had. If you are just accepting this drama for drama and you're not walking out, you deserve whatever you get. Unfortunately, it's harsh, but it's tight, but it's right. Don't make excuses for this person. Make moves towards the door. We are very good, again, at making excuses about stuff that we don't like because we love the person. Again, I refer to you to my statement. How many times do we justify the scars because we love the person that's holding the knife?
Oh, I love that. Say that one more time. How many
times do we justify the scars because we love the person that's holding the knife?
And I have a question that's related to that.
Yes.
Okay, so you named 11 things, and all of them are, some of them are kind of obvious, some of them are kind of blurred.
Yeah.
But what if you were in a relationship where you didn't really have any of those specifically, and you got along okay, but you just shouldn't be together? When do you leave? If it's lukewarm, you know how they say either hot or cold. Yeah. But if it's lukewarm, but whatever, when do you leave?
The minute you get that constant feeling of we shouldn't be together, because your spirit is going to tell you, it'll start showing up, and you're going to eventually have to come to the place where you have the conversation with your partner. Hey, this is what I'm feeling like, and when you're really ready to go, there's nothing they can say to convince you to stay when you're really ready to go. When you're really ready to roll out for real, they can say, well, no, it's this, it's that, it's this. But in your heart of hearts, you're like, I'm going to be gone. And sometimes that may even look like we're not going to have no conversation. You're just going to look up and I'm going to be gone.
That's the best, I think.
Just to say, and I hate when people do things like that because I always feel like you owe people the courtesy to let them know. But if you know the situation is not going to turn out the way you need it to for your own self, that may be your best option. Pick up your things and go and come back and say, look, we weren't going to be together. You didn't see it. I saw it, and nothing was going to change that, and you have to have it in you to do that. Again, when you feel that, when it's incumbent upon you, you can't even you can't sleep because it's worrying you. You can't eat because we shouldn't be together. I don't feel like this anymore. I don't love you anymore. Go. And it may not even be that they may not have cheated, they may not have lied to you, they may not have done anything to make you leave, but you just feel like our time has ended, or I've outgrown you, or whatever the case may be. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm messing with you.
You have to be mature enough to really.
Somebody said, "This is the truth, Elliot." I see a book.
Oh, well, I don't plan on writing no book.
Somebody else said, preach, Elliot Bell, communication is the key. Makiba, shut up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Makiba. Oops. I love you.
I'm sorry. That's not very nice.
Makiba's my friend. But yeah, these things that we've named.
But don't you think people want to stay or people want to hang on because of fear?
Yeah. So
Isn't a lot of it fear-based?
a lot of it is fear because a lot of people are truly afraid to be alone
Mhm.
or be alone again, or whatever the case may be. You're afraid to face the fact that, um, either this relationship has failed or I didn't do enough. We're afraid to face those things. But the reality of life is you're going to have to face it one way or the other. And you have to be willing to deal with that. It's hard. It's very hard because that thing of I'm invested, I'm in this, I'm here. I don't want to renege on this investment because this is my heart, this is my emotions, this is my everything, this is my time, my money, my energy, all that. I put my all into it. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I don't want to admit to myself that I made a mistake. That's how people think. I made enough mistakes in my life. I don't want to sit here and say I made a mistake.
A relationship mistake, right?
Yeah, because it's big.
But even if you do, just thinking about the light side of it, with this being spring coming upon us, isn't the best time to do it is now when the weather is changing?
It is. I
just think it is.
Because cuddle season is about to be over with.
Yeah,
It's getting warmer. So
it's getting
you done
warmer.
had your cuddle buddy for all the winter and cold days. Vola Portex is over with. It's about to be springy and flowers about to come up. It's time to do something different. Don't just roll out on your boo because the seasons are changing. Here we go. If the seasons are changing in your relationship, watch it.
Somebody said, "Come on, Bishop, Doctor, Professor." Beautiful sermon.
Who is that? Who said that?
I'm not gonna tell you who. You have to read it for yourself.
Oh my goodness. But no, you have to be watchful and be discerning in your relationships, not just your romantic relationships, but your platonic relationships.
Yeah, your
friends, your work, all that. Every relationship that you have to be watchful of the times and the seasons that you go through. I put on Facebook the other day. I said, we're about to go through a time change, but also watch the changing of the things around you.
Oh, come on now.
Watch that, because everything around you changes at some point or another. Mm-hmm. So be discerning. For those of us that are spiritual, I truly believe that the Lord never lets you get taken by surprise. I believe you always get a sign. You always get something. Sometimes
you do. You don't listen to it, right?
We choose not to see it. We choose not to take heed to it, and then stuff happens, and then we look crazy. But the truth of the matter is, you have to really be watchful and pay attention to the changes that are happening, so that you can be prepared. And when it's time for you to go, get up and go. And then we're not going to say that leaving is easy, especially when you love the person, when you really care about them. Leaving is never easy, but you have to look at the fact that what's coming is going to be so much better. And sometimes when you leave, it gives you all time to regroup and refresh, and you may come back together in a different way. And it may be better if you should come back together. Because somebody said, if you really love them and you let them go, if they're meant to be a part of your life, they'll come back. And things will be different, So those are things you look at. So you have been told today of the 11 signs of why you should leave. If you see any 1, 2, or 3 of those 11 that we've named, pay attention. And I pray that you would find the courage and the strength that you need to make the necessary changes for your life. Your feelings are important. Your heart is important just like theirs is. You matter just like they do. So you can't put it all on them. You have to make decisions for yourself. It's not being selfish. And so we think it's not being selfish.
By leaving?
By leaving, it's not being
protecting
selfish.
Your heart.
Yeah. Because truth be told, your heart has been hurt more times than you can even imagine anyway at this point.
Exactly.
So why continue to be hurt? Pray for the courage to leave and the mind to go, and know that on a spiritual level that the Lord will take care of you. If he should bring it to where you have to leave whoever you're with, he'll take care of you. He'll make sure stuff works out for you. You won't go through now, which you won't go through this now anymore. It'll be something different.
He will take care of you, because he'll have friends come by and they'll say, you know what? I'll drive this time because you don't have anybody to drive you.
Right.
That was so sweet.
Yeah.
I said that was so sweet.
Yeah.
Tonya Simpson Conley. He knows me. He knows I call him that. And he knows
that's my
his
Tanya.
calling.
Tanya, I love you. I'm gonna fight you later, but I love you.
And
That's my cousin.
Makiba is once again co-signing out of Indianapolis. That's right. That's right.
Hey, Makiba, my G.
Now let's get the input, and I know she's probably not prepared, and I hate to put someone on the spot,
But put on
but
the
since
spot.
we
Come
got
on.
a little extra time,
Come on.
do you have any insight on when to leave from? What would she be called? Millennial? Is she millennial?
Yeah, well, we're both millennials in that case.
I don't know what I am, but I know
That's the same.
that I'm leaving once you raise your hand at me. First off,
Yeah.
that is a big, like, yes, I'm an educator. The only time you should be raising your hand is to ask me a question.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
we
that's
got
the only
that.
Right.
The only time you're raising your hand.
Yeah.
So that's time for me to leave. And my dad told me, he said, I will fight for you that one time, but you go back, that's on you.
He's
yeah.
right.
No, that's very
right.
true.
And no, I was raised the right way. I know how a man should treat a woman, and raising your hand at me, not the way to go.
Right.
And even cheating is a big thing, and even being truthful, deception. You shouldn't want to lie to your partner. You should always want to be truthful to them, unless it's something like you want to surprise them with something or something. But it's not like deceitful lying and you don't want them to know when you're doing something you don't have any business. If you're with this person as your partner, you should be able to be open with them about anything.
Yeah.
And be adults about it and talk about it in that situation. And if you can't come to terms with it, then yes, you can leave and do what you need to do. But I think just all of these 11 things makes total sense. And if you see any of those signs, like Elliot said, you got to go. Because me, at the first sign of you just constantly lying, like I just can't. What's the reason to lie for? Mm-hmm. Like as long as you're open, and I believe in that first year. Oh my goodness, I think that first year you need to stick to you and your partner. Yeah. Everyone else does not need to be in your relationship, right? Because that's how you grow and you see who you are, and you get that foundation together and make your relationship strong before you allow anyone else in, and you let them know what's going on with you. And social media, keep it out the way.
Yeah.
I think social media does not need to know your business.
I agree.
It does not need to be placed out there that you're dating so-and-so.
Right.
Who cares? Worry about you and your relationship. And when it's time for that, it's time for that. But I think social media is a big problem in relationships, because everyone wants to post about it and want to be in love, but you're not making that relationship strong between you two. You just trying to show it off for that social media purpose.
Shamel, somebody gave you another nickname. She said, "Oh, Melly, I hear you."
Yeah. Jimmy and Millie.
I like Melly.
Oh,
I get called that all the time. Though.
Really,
That's
Melly?
a normal. Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
Makiba
a normal.
calling her Melly. Oh, Melly,
That's
I
a
hear
normal name for me.
All right.
It's just serious. Social media is just a waste. Like, I don't need to go on there and post. I know what I have at home.
Yeah.
And until I'm ready for that and letting them in, because somebody might try to knock your relationship down and you're not stable enough to hold it, then you're going to lose it.
Right. Yeah.
Because you talked about the sand and the rocks.
Yeah, there you go. That those are those waves of life we talked about when you're building your relationship on a rocky place. People, somebody's always gonna be jealous. Somebody's always gonna be hated. Somebody's always gonna be.
Mary Anderson said, "You say that, Melly. Okay, we got a new nickname for Melly."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, somebody's always gonna be doing something. So, that's why, again, like we said, that first year is very important that you all lay those foundations between you and your partner.
Okay, both of you, both that was stated eloquently. This must be delayed because I see you're laughing now. Do you see many couples like that? Many couples that are examples. Many couples that are, we call them couple goals or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see many couples?
Goals.
Do you see many couples like that?
On which end?
On the positive end, ones that are friends, the ones that are showing respect, the ones that aren't deceiving, the ones that are an example.
We find, at least I find anyway, that the couples that have really been to themselves in that first year and really gotten to know each other and really started out as friends and really built that bond, we see a lot of positive things from them. And then those that haven't really spent the time together, the necessary time together, it's it gets real shaky. Mm-hmm. And either they end up trying to go back and do their first works over again, if you will, and try to really build. But by this time, you all have been 3 and 4 years in, and y'all are arguing with each other because you all haven't taken that time to really solidify one another by yourself. But it's important. So we see a lot of positive couples, and then we see a lot of some of the other stuff too.
Thank you, Makiba, for your couple goals. You're pretty active today. She said Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, couple goals.
Yeah.
And she also mentioned my mom and dad, who were together for 67 years, who are couple goals. Couple goals. So, that's enlightening. What about you, Melly? I like the name Melly.
I get called that all the time. My family calls me that. I'm like, yeah.
Melly. I like the name Melly.
What was the question? Sorry.
Do you see many couples that are an example? I think it's kind of hard because I think some people put things out too quick. You know how you see people the first date? Oh, look who I'm, and it's like then you're kind of following them like, okay.
Is it really about the relationship, or you just about the person and who it is and what they've got for you instead of being there for them? And not only maybe they have some money, maybe they have some clout somewhere. Is that what you're really there for? Because if you're not, then why are you posting them? That's why I think I don't care to see relationships online, until I know you've been somewhere, you've been some years together, you've got an engagement. I know you've worked on it. Yeah. Because some relationships can be just a fluke.
They can be.
They aren't there to have that strong bond. And some relationships, maybe they say from the beginning, I don't really want anything. This is just us. That's where you really need to be truthful, because getting into a relationship, one person may think, oh, okay, we're going to be together. And the other one's just like, I'm just here to play.
Yeah.
And some people are getting to the age where they don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like, who has time for that? No.
Yeah.
You play with the kids. You don't play with grown folk.
No. And so I think that's a big thing, is to make sure you set those boundaries before you even start a relationship.
Yeah.
I want to thank both of you on talking about relationships. If you have anything else to say about it, because we're going to have an extended show today. I'm just shocked that he allowed us to have it.
Goodness.
With his nice self.
So full of shade, but I understand.
No, but I'm still in shock. I'm almost speechless.
Y'all normally we be gone by now.
He runs us out of here at 5 till.
It was 7:15.
We're still sitting around here talking. So if you have anything else to say on relationship, we'd love to hear it. If not, we can talk about what you think is going to be the outcome of R. Kelly. I'm just curious.
Oh, that's what she really wants to talk about.
No. I'm just curious how that's going to all fall out. You just never know.
We just got to watch the sequel. We never know, because we thought that man was going to be in jail, and some people keep sending in money for this man. So, he got money somewhere, and he has constituents somewhere that's helping him out. I would only hope and pray that, whatever the real truth is, that it comes out.
I hope the truth on all of them. Jussie Smollett, who everyone laughs at me because I'm still not convinced that he orchestrated that whole thing. Michael Jackson, I really want that to come out. The truth. I don't know how it can come out because he's gone.
This is my thing. Okay.
He's dead.
Exactly.
I was going to say this earlier. I can say it now. Look, now I find it so interesting that if you watch this and if you do your research, you'll find this out. When these artists and celebrities start going after their rights,
as catalogs and
things that they
like Prince and
they always end up dead. Or in jail.
That's a trend. That's absolutely. Think about Prince.
Yes.
Mysteriously on the elevator. Come on now.
So watch those things. With Michael Jackson, it's like why are we chasing after this?
Right.
Why?
It's only for the 1.5 billion. Think about it. He's gone. He can't apologize. He can't say, well, I don't want him to do this to anybody else. He's gone. He's destroying his legacy.
Yes.
I mean, anytime they start pulling his stuff and they're so quick to pull it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but that's the kind of fickle world we live in.
It is fickle.
We're quick to just make those moves. And some of it is a protection move, because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But, we don't know what's going on. We can't really say,
everyone's jumping on Oprah. I tell you that. Lately.
Oh, I've been seeing it everywhere.
I've been seeing mimes all over.
But see, what you have to realize is Oprah and Gail are TV personalities.
Yes.
They're reporters at their core. They're reporters. They're interviewers. They're doing what they're made their living off of doing for years.
Isn't it interesting that for both cases, Jesse, R. Kelly, for all the cases, they have black people interviewing them?
Of course, because you're not going to have a white person interviewing for this stuff. Because it's going to make it way bigger than it is. It is.
Why? Because they would seem that it was racial undertones.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to have Gail say Robert instead of
because we know how to handle our people, and you're not gonna BS your own like that, especially in like people like Oprah and Gail. They ain't gonna sit there and let you BS them. They gonna come right for you and ask the right questions, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know, and whatever you say. Did
you see the Oprah interview? I know you didn't see.
Oh. I saw a bit of Gail's interview and how unbothered she was.
I didn't even watch that.
Face or he's jumping up and down and
all that dramatic.
Oh my
stuff.
goodness! I'm sorry.
And you know, it's dramatic.
And it didn't help.
And a lot of times when you're that dramatic, a lot of times you're guilty. Come on, educators, you know we deal with these kids. And they say, oh. He did this. I didn't do that.
Yes, that means you did it.
You know good and well.
You did it.
Falling out.
Oh my goodness.
And I fall out with them.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Not like that.
I know what you mean. You know, so it's like, come on, you got to be dramatic and you got to be emotional. My feelings are hurt. Your feelings are hurt. Yeah, but you still did it. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
You know, because when you're honest, when you're truthful, you know, you gonna stand on your truth.
That's what he called himself doing, jumping up and down, standing.
I don't know.
Performing.
But I thought the funniest video out here was the guy who walked through the press conference. Have you seen the video where they were doing the press conference
for R. Kelly?
When he went in for the second time?
Was publicist guy?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the guy interrupted where he said, "Oh, I need to go get my wallet or my ID." And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry for messing up your press conference." And the guy was like, "Free R. Kelly." And then, and then he was "You could have went around," is what the publicist said. He was like, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna go through here." Oh, what are you talking about? He was just being so Chicago. It was hilarious.
You say so Chicago. It
was so Chicago.
No, but R. Kelly, when he would ask, "Are the cameras looking at me? Are the cameras on?" I was like, "No, he's not." Did you see what he was doing?
He's like, "Is this camera on me?" And he want to point at the camera and talk at the camera.
What is that about?
I don't know. I'm still gonna listen to the music. I'm sorry. Love me, hate me, whatever you want to do.
You're sick of what?
I'm still gonna listen to the music. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I like.
I'm still jamming in my car right now.
Don't be looking at me like that because
Pandora's still jamming, so I'm jamming.
I have nothing to say to each his own.
Yeah,
y'all know I've never been.
I do believe that.
Yeah, that's true.
He probably did some of those things, and if he did it, he should pay the price.
But I'm still jamming.
So I think that his music should be muted. No. I just hate to see when someone cuts down a person's way to earn a living. That's my own personal thing, but
you run that risk when this is how you make your living, your entertainment, and you use your sphere of entertainment to get at other things. You run that risk, unfortunately. You use your power of being an entertainer for.
That's right, Kiva. Still listen.
Maybe I do too. Bump and grind all day. Look at Ellie's like, "Oh God, it's Lynn." She's still talking like this.
It's all right.
It's all right.
I ain't got nothing to say.
That's right.
But you know, no, you're gonna do what you want to do.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. Bottom line. Right.
You know, so it's like, hey, whatever. We're making a big deal out of this, and it is a big deal. It is a big deal. I feel like, you know what else gonna happen? It's gonna happen. If he did it, and he's gonna pay for it.
Do you think the parents had anything to do with bringing their kids? Like he said something to the effect. I don't know if he was telling the truth.
He brought it to me. Yeah, pretty much.
And told them to say they're a little older, and said, "Get some pictures so I can blackmail him if I needed him in my pocket."
Let's just say it like this. I don't think you said this before. I don't think any self-respecting parent, any good parent, would just give your child, number one, to somebody who you know that's doing stuff, and just let them. You can't tell me you live in a house with somebody, and no matter how big the house is, you don't know what's going on. You can't tell me that stuff is happening that you don't know. No, you're choosing not to know. You're ignoring.
Yeah, because I don't understand that either. I mean,
Money's involved. Let's be real. Call a thing a thing. This is all about money
It
at the end of the
is.
day.
oh wow. So she probably figured, well, shoot, I'm married to him. I don't want him no more. He can do what he wanted to do. He
As
can
long
knock
as I
himself
still
out.
get money, I got a
Right.
house, I got money, I'm good. We got kids. What? All of this from the parenting side of it is money. From these girls' side, is money. From the it's all about money.
Now, one of his lawyers who is on his dying bed, I don't know how true it was, from the first time he was on trial, they said that he is guilty. He has an issue, and they had to give him shots to control his libido back in
Mm.
2005.
Mm.
It's like, well, it seems like now with him being 52, he probably got to take pills, but maybe not. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's just funny. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah,
But
they had to
you're
give him
right.
shots. They had to give him shots to control it. Now, I don't know how true that is either. You know, you read so much, so you
Yeah.
don't know how much is truth and how much isn't. Okay, we're about to wind down this show, and I
Yeah.
don't know if anyone else has anything or any new news to bring. Or next week, Ellie's doing the series for the whole month.
Oh, how wonderful.
Next week or
No.
the week after. What do you think you're going to talk about? Or do you have any idea?
Since we talked about, reasons you should leave, I feel like we should deal with reasons why you should stay.
Oh
know,
my gosh!
Reasons why you should stay. What dealing with your love and your love languages and all those things, and what makes a good partner.
What I like
What to
that
look
one.
for,
What
yeah,
makes a
all of
good
that,
partner?
So I think we should kind of deal with that because we spend so much time on the negative
negative
side
side
of
of
things
things.
that I don't see a lot of people pushing for the positive parts. And let's really say this is what you should look for. This is what you should want, or you may think about wanting. These are good things to look out for. Because we need to really make sure, even though we find all these negative things that are wrong, there are some good things about the people who we've dated at some point.
Absolutely.
There were
Absolutely.
something good
Yeah.
that made us want to be around them.
Yeah.
And so we may want to make sure that we look at those things and be like, okay, I like this, I like that, all that. So you definitely want to at some point deal with what makes a good partner, what keeps your relationship together.
What keeps the
Wow.
fire in it
Yeah,
too?
what is that adhesive?
Yeah.
Those things that make you, just make your heart go pitter pat about the person you're with,
Yeah. And where they're friends 20 years later, when they hear them coming in, their heart still skips. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's coming in or he's coming in
Yeah.
or whatever,
Those,
So
those are things.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that one. That's a good one. So we're going to talk about that next week, and I'm sure we're going to have all kind of stories because all this stuff is unfolding.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
It
we'll
just
have
keeps
some
coming.
truth. And next week we're going to also hear from, or when we come back, we're going to also hear from Melly. We're going to let her talk about some of the current events that are going on. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of current events. What was that going on with the two girls who got into it? Oh my gosh. One of the Kardashian sisters.
Oh, Jordan Woods.
Yes.
Oh,
I believe Jordan Woods. I'm sorry.
She said nothing happened. She
I
said
believe
she
her.
kind of sat on the lap because I saw
don't-
the red table and it seemed all innocent to me.
Yeah, and the way I don't think she would have got on Red Table Talk with Jada, who she's so close with, and told that lie to her. I don't think she would have been
She
on
seemed
there.
very credible to me.
And the way that Jada got to the point. So what you do? Did you
Yeah,
sleep
did
with
you
him?
do
I was
something
like,
right?
that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
she just
talking
cut
about.
through the
Again, we're
She's
not
like-
gonna
How
BS
drunk
our
were you?
people.
Yes.
We're gonna come right for it.
How drunk were you?
It was such a good interview, and I believe her. It's just those Kardashians. I think that's like a fluke where somebody said it's always something going on with them every year, but it's for the show.
Yeah.
So
Entertainment.
and
Well,
Jordan,
think about it. They became rich not because they speak well, they can sing, they can entertain. What did they become rich on?
Their name.
Their
Kim,
name?
Kim's tape,
Kim?
Yeah.
The sex tape?
Yeah.
Kim's
You know,
tape.
I mean, think about it. What
Yeah.
talent?
Yeah.
There's no
Well, they're
talent.
promoters. They have a marketing talent. I guess I can't dismiss that.
Yeah,
They're
and
rich.
Kim was dating Reggie Bush and all those, and
All
then
of this stuff.
her
all this
dad
stuff.
was, that lawyer on which case? OJ.
Yeah, the Kardashian. Yeah, with the
So-
white kind of white silver hair. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be quite interesting to see what Melly brings in next week.
Yeah,
With-
Melly's
with,
going to bring in some stuff. So everyone's going to have a segment. I don't know. I'll talk about, of course, the news and
You can use
updates on if I have any updates on MJ
of course.
or on Jesse or anyone else. who
Kelly,
Our
something
Kelly.
new
Yeah.
never happens.
We need to find out what's going on with his sister.
Who?
Jesse's sister.
I haven't seen her lately
Like
acting.
I guess she's staying out the limelight.
I
I
would
don't
too.
blame them.
Oh,
Right, I wouldn't.
I
Either.
would
I don't
too,
blame her at
leaving with
all,
them.
but, I thought about her.
Yeah.
I'm like,
She's
I
a
wonder.
good actress.
Which
She's a
one,
good
Journey?
actress. Journey, yeah.
Yes.
Good actress.
How is she dealing with all this? Hopefully they don't.
It would be
go
tough.
after-
It would be tough. Yeah, because he has a brother too that someone interviewed, David or whatever. His name is. Yeah, his brother.
Okay.
So it'll be tough. But famous by association, no talent. Oh, the Kardashians. The Kardashians. Okay.
Y'all in these comments are funny.
Yes.
Okay. So we will be back here next week or the week after.
Yeah,
We will
act
soon enough.
Is everyone good for next week?
Yeah, I am.
So we'll be back here
yes,
next week,
See?
and we'll be
each
hearing
other.
from
Isn't that wonderful?
each segment. And we hope that you tune into and share, and tell your friends to share. And we appreciate you listening to the Voices of Change on Intellectual Radio. We're signing off.
Juices.
Bye-bye. And now we're still on here. So since we're still on YouTube, but we still have a few more minutes on YouTube because
Yes,
it still has
YouTube
on the
people.
YouTube.
We still have
hey,
YouTube to watch.
hey,
Leave
people
me
still on
on.
YouTube. Did you guys know that Elliot is a musician, composer?
He
He does it all.
talking about me.
I thought maybe he wanted to sing something since we got a
You would sit over here and talk about B, right?
Yeah.
But Janice is just so wonderful and Shamil and
Oh,
Melly.
you know.
Melly.
No.
And I love Melly's hair.
Oh, thank you.
And she is right. You got to have some hair for that style.
Anyway.
Oh, come on, Lord. Come on. Come
I'm
on. Say it
keeping real. I
again.
can't do that style. If I could, I sure have it.
You so
I'm just keeping it real. You
funny.
gotta be
I
honest.
You gotta
cannot.
speak facts
You
out
gotta be
here. You be
honest.
seeing. Never mind. I ain't gonna go there, but
But you have to be.
I ain't gonna go there on air. But you get what I'm saying.
Hair is a good thing. I told her that this
Hair is a
gonna
good
make
thing.
y'all
I wish
laugh.
I had some.
Y'all are gonna laugh at me, but I told my friends, I said, I'm going to go look into these male pieces.
They look better than the women's. That's not right.
I really want to give me some
You
dreads,
know
so I might
that
have
is
some for my
not
birthday.
right.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
tell me where you go because I want him to do me some.
I
They look
understand.
better than women. I don't understand.
Y'all have to stop.
Because you got to do more work for us than y'all.
Is it more expensive?
It probably is because see, most of you all already have hair, or you have things that are already in place for you all. Most men that are going to get these don't have any hair, and so you have to really get a whole thing glued on or whatever.
This is hilarious.
I think they look nice.
When you do it right, because now I've seen some very crazy things. Like I know somebody
do it here.
he did
Because I
it
know
here.
out east a lot of people.
He didn't have no hair one weekend, and next week he showed up with a whole box. I said,
Leave that man alone.
I'm
I
like-
change every week.
"What?" But see, you
Leave
got
that man
hair.
alone.
It wasn't like you were bald
Not
one
much,
week.
Not much.
It wasn't like you were bald one week, bald like me, and then you came in with a head full of hair next week.
Well,
It was such a culture
wait,
shock.
my hair was long, but now it's short. I got it cut. I don't see no hair on the phone.
Oh, see,
Oh my goodness.
this she really
Who
just
made
went all
this
the way
song
back.
up?
She dating herself.
Oh,
I used to love. What's his name? Oh gosh. Short
She's
guy.
dating herself.
I used to love that song. I can think of Alex.
Oh,
His name is
geez.
Alex O'Neill. It sure is.
Lord have mercy.
love that
Dating
song.
yourself. How do you get your
So
life
I
together?
don't see any harm in it. I don't see any harm. in
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna look into it. If any YouTube watchers that know anybody, put them in,
in
the
the
comments.
area, not
In
in
the-
the East Coast.
Yeah, in Chicago, put them in the comments on YouTube because I'll be going to look at it sometime soon. Because I don't mind being bald, but as you see, I want to do something different. I'm gonna be 34 this year.
whoop,
Yeah, I hope you have a party. You better know you have one next year.
I'm starting the party for 35. This year I'm probably not gonna do anything major.
You
I'm
can
not
have a
gonna
little
try.
party.
Well, it's Easter, so I never do anything.
Oh.
My
Oh,
birthday's the day after Easter, so I won't be doing anything.
Easter
major.
Monday. Come
Right.
on, Lord. Come on, Lord.
You
Come on,
know,
Lord.
hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
Yes. So you know what I saw today at church. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You know how the choir, when you're in the choir, you look around everybody.
Uh-huh.
I saw this girl just singing every single song, every single lick. Should I invite her to join the choir?
Yes.
Only if she can sing. Now, if you invite
She
people that
can
can't
sing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Well,
So
you
don't
know
be
what?
inviting folk that can't sing.
That was not me.
I'm gonna
Stop
talk about
playing.
you.
Yes, it was.
It was
You were
not
singing
me.
off key. Wait, you were singing off key today.
That was
No,
not
she
me.
wasn't singing off key. She was singing every song. She knew every
Oh,
word.
that about you?
Oh no, she ain't talking about me.
Come on,
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Oh,
Yes, I am.
well, no, you shouldn't ask her
Singing the
then.
special
And
events
she-
choir.
And she sings. Oh, yeah, because she's right there.
Right.
Okay, she can stay in there. She sings
I got a couple of
soprano.
them myself. Yeah.
She sings a prayer. And then Dennis says, stop booging her, Junior. Stop booging her. And I'm like, okay. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
This
If
by
it's me,
far-
don't ask.
Do you know? I want you all to know that we have been on for an hour and a half. This is the longest show we've ever had, and we're still on. You know,
Yes, we are
Right.
on.
and we got the. I want YouTube people to know we got the 10-minute mark about 15 minutes ago.
yes.
So-
That's right.
Right, we're here until our producer comes and
Cuts us off. Well,
So,
we could
you
just
know,
walk out on y'all, but
but
we ain't
we
gonna
don't
do
wanna-
y'all like that. We wouldn't do y'all like that.
So, we just gonna ramble on till he walks in and cuts us off. But we are so grateful that you all tune in to the Voices of Change every week.
Yes.
Please share, please like, please share, please like.
And if you got something to watch, you can go watch it now.
And here comes our producer now.
The other Winfrey.
Yes, the other one for to cut us off. We're about to get up out of here. We thank y'all for watching again. Voices of Change. Share it, like it, leave your comments. Find Janice, Older, find Shamil, find me. Leave your comments. It's been real.
Melly, what do you call us? A mod squad?
Yeah,
The
he always
Mod
got a name.
Squad. All that good stuff.
Da 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 da. Whoa whoa whoa. Whoa.